I wish it was.
I have to go with Harden. And I said it on the show the next day I was on after that. He did something, a 60-point triple-double, which we've never seen. We don't know if Wilt and any of those guys did it before they began recording.
Before
stuff
you
like
actually
this.
kept a box full.
Yeah, right. But as far as we know, Wilt Chamberlain, who rewrote the record books, Oscar Robertson, who did the same thing, they never did this. Anytime you do something that those guys never did, because they were playing in an era where there was the unwritten rule of how many black players you had on the team, so the talent wasn't what it is today, and that's why they put up these cartoonish numbers. They never even did this. James Harden is doing this against the absolute best competition in the world. I have to give him the nod on best performance of the year.
We have seen some absolutely jaw-dropping statistical thresholds reached, not only this year, but last year as well. From Russell Westbrook averaging a triple-double to Russ and Harden having a combined 6 50-point triple-doubles, which is more than the entirety of league history prior to the last 2 years from those two guys. LeBron's 57, 11, and 7 was great. Embiid's was another unprecedented line, 46, 15, 7, and 7. And Boogie having a 40, 20, 10 game. It's absurd. None of it's Harden's 60-point triple-double. And part of it is the bias, I suppose, about how great of a year he's having. But from a points created standpoint, it's the best game we've seen. It's better than Kobe's game. It's better than Kobe's 81-point game from a points created standpoint.
How many did he create?
Kobe, well, he had 81 points and two assists.
Yeah.
So I'm shocked he got the two. Harden in that game, I think it was 87. I think it was
really the Wilt.
Well, there was a 57 and like 17 assist game, I believe. So it's second or third most points created in NBA history. It's the only 60-point triple-double ever. It is neck and neck, if not better than Kobe's 81-point game. It's the performance of the year. It might be the statistical regular season performance of the decade in the NBA. It is jaw-dropping to do what he did. And if people watched that game, man, every point mattered.
Yep.
He had a 4-point play to tie the game and then a step-back jumper to win the game. Those were points 50. I guess what would that be? 55 through 60, so every point mattered.
And it was the reason that, Nick, remember when you grew your beard out really long that weekend? It was because of what Harden did.
Exactly right.
That's exactly what happened. All right, let's go back to the NFL now. Last season, the Broncos quarterback play was bad, like make you miss Team Tebow bad. Like, are we sure Peyton Manning can't come back from retirement bad? Like, I know John Elway is 57, but I think even he can be better than these guys bad. Speaking to the GM of the Broncos, Elway admitted he's still on the hunt for a quarterback.
I think we're going to explore all options in free agency and see where that goes. And obviously, we get the 5th pick in the draft, too, so that'll all play into it. So we'll continue to, to look at all the options out there when it comes to quarterback. Believe me, I'm not done swinging and missing. So, look, misses don't bother me. We just got to figure out a way to get it right.
Nick, the saying goes, it takes one to know one. So as a quarterback, do you trust John Elway to get this right?
No.
Okay, good talk.
I mean,
all right,
listen, since he took over, no team in the league has drafted more quarterbacks than the Broncos. And all of them stink.
How many have they drafted?
5. They've drafted 5 quarterbacks since he took over. Brock Osweiler's terrible. Paxton Lynch can't get on the field. Trevor Siemian is actually good for a 7th-round pick, but not a good NFL quarterback. The only team that's drafted as many as them is the Jets. Since he took over, only the Jets, Jaguars, and Browns have more seasons of horrific quarterback play, meaning a passer rating below 77. And by the way, in that era, they had Peyton Manning. So, it's every non-Peyton Manning quarterback year for them has been terrible. It's why, if I'm the Broncos, even though I think Kirk Cousins is going to be overpaid, Kirk Cousins is going to hamstring a team's ability to compete long-term because of his cap figure. If I'm the Broncos, I am strongly considering and wanting and contacting Kirk Cousins because what else are you going to do? You have the 5th pick. We have no reason to believe Elway's going to get this right. None whatsoever.
I do put my faith in John.
Wow.
Elway. Because, and you're right, the quarterbacks, they've had some misses, as even he admitted. But in the 7 years he's been running the Broncos, They made the playoffs 5 times, the first 5 years he was there. That followed a stretch of 5 years when they did not make the playoffs. So he came in to wasn't a great situation. It was a team that wasn't in the postseason. And he took them not only to 5 straight playoff appearances, but obviously a Super Bowl championship. They have one of the top defenses in the league. They have some great wide receivers. That's all on John Elway. Now, you mentioned Simeon. I'm with you. I don't kill him for that.
No.
That's a 7th-round pick. Obviously, Osweiler, Paxton Lynch moving up to get him bust. But now I think with you, as you said, you go out and get Kirk Cousins. If you don't, now the reports are they're not going to break the bank for him like some of these other teams.
Definitely not.
They're not going to get it.
But if you come close, maybe he'll go there because you have a chance to win. And if you don't get him, how you like this? Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh. So that's interesting.
I would like him as a second choice.
Or maybe
you take any of Minnesota's offerings.
Yeah,
you could take Keenum, Bridgewater, or Bradford.
Look, I like Keenum. Could Keenum go there and be better than what they have? Yes. I'd be disappointed if I'm a Broncos fan and I ended up this summer with Case Keenum as my quarterback.
But
for next
Teddy
year.
Bridgewater's an interesting one. I just don't trust him to draft these guys. And I don't know how much I trust him to evaluate either, because here's the key point. Elway got very lucky. John Elway, after watching Brock Osweiler play, offered Brock Osweiler a bucket of money. Offered him 4 years, nearly $70 million with $30 million guaranteed. The only reason he wasn't stuck with Brock Osweiler was the Houston Texans, without ever meeting with Osweiler, offered him more. Offered him 4 years, $72 million with $38 million guaranteed. It's not like Elway, after seeing Osweiler, was like, nope, we're done with this. Similar, by the way, to what Washington did with a far better player in Kirk Cousins. Elway wanted to keep Brock Osweiler, and we now know how horrible Brock Osweiler is. Elway, as you mentioned, wanted to go get Paxton Lynch. And I know this isn't always fair, but when you drafted Paxton Lynch, Jacoby Brissett, Dak Prescott were there. Okay, well, nobody saw Dak doing this. How about when you drafted
let's see what Dak is.
But how about when you drafted Osweiler? Russell Wilson, Nick Foles, Kirk Cousins were there. Like, you have drafted quarterbacks with other quarterbacks available.
Well, you know, the one guy he really did want was Colin Kaepernick, that he did go after hard, but that actually didn't work out. So then I guess the question becomes, do you have more faith in John Elway to evaluate a college quarterback or to pick out a veteran in the league that he's actually watched play?
Well, I think, as Nick pointed out, I mean, obviously to pick a veteran. I mean, Osweiler, he messed that up. But in the draft, he hasn't had success. So I do trust him.
Failed on both.
Yeah, but if I had to pick one, it would be to pick a veteran out of the league. And look, if they don't go relatively hard after Kirk Cousins, because as you said, maybe Elway's thinking too, I want Cousins, but at what price? Do I want him enough to, as you said, it could mess me up going forward in the years to come? I would go for him because I think with this defense, these receivers who are there right now, they would be right in the championship hunt again next season if they get him. But they may be thinking the way you are. Maybe you get a Teddy Bridgewater for less money.
Oh, a lot less money.
He's mature. He's a leader. He showed that he could play when he was healthy.
Too, yeah.
I think he'd be a good second choice.
I also think people need to realize, I think people look at the draft and see Denver's picking 5th. They're like, okay, who's in front of them? Cleveland has 2 picks in front of them. Cleveland's obviously taking a quarterback, one of those picks. But Indy's in front of them. Indy's not taking a quarterback. And the Giants, it looks like they're saying at least they won't. So it's like, oh, in this quarterback-rich draft, Denver's going to have its pick of all the quarterbacks except the one Cleveland takes. I do not believe that's how this will play out. I believe someone, whether it's the Jets, the Dolphins, the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Ravens, Buffalo with either of their first-round picks, will end up trading in front of Denver. Because if Denver doesn't sign a free agent quarterback, everyone knows at 5 they're going quarterback. So one of those teams will jump in front of them. So then all of a sudden, you're sitting there with 2 quarterbacks off the board. And it's just, now your ability to have your pick of the guys is lower. I don't think Elway's...
What do you think of signing either Cousins, if you can, or Bridgewater, and if he's there, taking Barkley in the draft? Because you probably have to let C.J. Anderson go so you can clear the room.
And C.J. Anderson's, it's funny. I actually talked with C.J. at Sloan Conference this week, and really sharp guy. But he knows that his guaranteed money's up, so he knows that he is potentially expendable for them. If Barkley falls to 5, if you have your quarterback in place, that's a home run. To me, that would be an absolute home run. I would
for them,
absolutely.
You so go get a free agent.
Yeah, go get a free agent quarterback.
Keep in mind, as bad as John Elway's been in drafting quarterbacks, he's been pretty good at putting this defense together.
Oh, great!
He did
Like
great
I told
with
you,
the
in
defense.
Elway, I trust.
Oh yeah,
No,
I trust.
It's the irony of the fact that he was the quarterback that has us all confused.
Everybody makes mistakes.
Coming up, he makes all